Okay, so I went to Comic-Con the other day and I noticed something really interesting. It seems like everyone is very interested in having a lightsaber, regardless of the expenses. Because there was a guy selling them at £50 each, with no effect at all, just a simple glowing stick. So I decided to do a little bit of research on the internet and find out how to make these amazing glowing sticks. And I'm a Star Wars fan myself, so don't get me wrong, but it is a glowing stick. So I found out that basically anyone can make one, and as intricate as you wish to make it. They call it really difficult to make because of sophisticated soundboards, vibration effects, light effects. Well, all of these things can be easily done using simple Arduino technology, some LEDs, and bits and bobs that you find everywhere in a hardware store. I mean, brass pieces like this one, or some copper wire, brass wire, or even just fabric that looks pretty. And then some transparent bits and bobs like this. I'm gonna start from something that you wouldn't even want to think of starting. You normally want a big stick with a glowing stick at the end and hold it. But I wanted to make it as intricate as possible to show that this can be done by anyone. And it's very easy to do. So I'm going to start making a Kyber crystal chamber. Yes, like the ones that are really expensive on the internet. You'll see a lot of videos of people showing how to make one with different bits and bobs, but then always saying, oh, but go on my shop and you'll get the entire thing. This is really expensive, made for you. Or you'll see the videos of the new Galaxy's Edge lightsaber, $200 to get a lightsaber, and a little bit of plastic inside. Doesn't really look that realistic as a Kyber crystal. You can make a better one. So I'm going to show you, using all these bits and pieces, how to make an actual Kyber crystal chamber. And as a treat, not only is it going to be illuminated, it's also going to be rotating, and at the same time it's going to be resistant to impact, so that you can actually use the lightsaber as a combat saber while it still shows the Kyber's crystal on the outside. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get these little plugs. You can find them still at hardware store. I don't actually know what they're used for. Probably something for plumbing, or just, I mean, anything that has this shape, like a little cylinder, can be used, as long as it's transparent, because you'll see why it's needed next. Alright, I'm gonna take, also this one. This is a failed attempt that I did on 3D printing something, but it's basically just a cylinder. So if you make a cylinder in any 3D program, export it as STL and make it the size you wish. I made it the size to fit in this area, but you can make it bigger or smaller, however you want. But it's a simple cylinder. Just go create cylinder, STL, export, and you get this. So I'm going to use this one as a base that will be connected to this brass piece that will hold the crystal on top. And I'm going to put this little but powerful engine under. It's a little motor. It's a 12 volts motor, geared, that will be basically welded inside here, and it will rotate the chamber. This is a little water bottle that you can normally get in shops to bring liquids on the plane, but I mean, anything that is this shape also will work. Anything that I'm using is substitutable. It depends on your taste. So I'm going to just melt the bottom of this, just make a little hole so that I can put the engine inside, the motor inside, and it will rotate the Kyber crystal that I'll place on top. So you see, very easy. Little welder. You can find it in any hardware shop, very cheap. You melt the hole, and then you place the shaft inside. I don't want to melt too much, otherwise it might create problems. So yeah, I'm gonna continue. So I'll actually melt through it so I can put the entire shaft inside. Very quick. Put it inside while it's still hot. There you go. Now the engine will rotate this chamber. Okay. Very easy fix, like that. So now the next bit is to get this one to be welded inside. So what I'm gonna do is just melt a little bit the plastic inside without making a hole. Okay. Quickly place this on top. Actually, to make it more stable, you see, I'm experimenting as I go, so don't take me as an infallible person. I do a lot of mistakes and I fix them, and that's how this thing should work. So I'm gonna get a glue gun. Now let's fire up the glue gun. Just a second. Okay, so I'm firing up the glue gun. This is you can see I've used it a lot. It has melted bits of glue all over it. But this is something you can easily find in hobby shops, hardware shops, and it only melts glue. You can easily fix anywhere, and it's as strong as super glue most of the time, so I would recommend seriously to get a hot glue gun. It's the best thing ever. I've only been using this for projects since I discovered it. And what I'm going to do with it, as soon as it gets hot enough, is glue the little piece here. In the meanwhile, I'm going to have a look at the rest. So this piece will need to go through here. So we'll need to make a hole through this plastic bit that just barely fits it because I don't want it to pass through. So what I'm gonna do is use it as a reference. And make a hole with the welder just where the hole is. So nothing more than that. Okay, a hole in there. The welder is a great melting machine for anything really. If you want to make a quick hole in anything that's made out of plastic, use a welder. Quick fix for anything. Just don't touch the plastic when it's still melted because it will hurt like hell. Did it before. Wasn't very happy. Also, be careful there's no smoke alarm when you're doing this. Otherwise, you'll have fun with the alarm after. melted plastic enough. God, it smells horrible. Okay, while I wait for that to disappear, hot glue, yeah, the glue is coming out. So I'm just gonna hot glue this piece here. Try not to get the motor glued, otherwise it's gonna have problems rotating. And where did I put it? Oh, it's on there. I was using it as a reference. And then you place this here. There you go. Perfect Kyber crystal holder. So we'll let it dry here. And we'll continue making a hole in here. So if it was any other material, I would use a drill. But plastic, polyester, anything like this, just use this. Don't touch anything hot, use tweezers if you can. Have a pair here. Just remove that part. Still not big enough. Needs to be bigger. Melt a bit more. Don't worry about being messy. It's supposed to be aged. So it's not a new sword. No one wants to use a new looking object. They want it to be ancient. This is the archaeologist in me talking. It looks a lot more interesting, a lot more history. It has a story behind. Instead, if it's completely new, it's just a piece of plastic. So let's continue. Sorry, I'm waiting for the fumes to go away because I don't want to intoxicate myself. Just want to melt the plastic. See again? Yeah, we're almost there. You can clean it up a bit if you want to. This. Try again. Almost there. Almost getting it. It just needs to get through. And then we're done with this piece. Then I'll show you the rest. Always be careful to do it on top of something that you don't want to destroy. For example, I don't want to destroy my desk, so I'm doing it on a piece of paper. It's enough to stop any plastic piece from falling and melting on top of the table. Starting to look interesting enough. Okay. Oh, it's passing through, I think. Still too narrow. A little bit more. I'm not gonna remove the entire bottom of this, that's why I'm doing it slowly, because I want it to just fit inside. Because the main point is that this rotates, but this doesn't, this stays stable. But it includes the Kyber's cluster inside and protects it from heavy hits. Also gives a little bit of an effect, like the Kyber crystal has a lot of power and melts through the saber, but it's barely contained. Okay, so here it is. Goes in, it knocks through, yeah. And the point is that it moves. I think it might still be too narrow. Yeah. Melted on the brass piece. I have to do circular melting. Let the brass piece go. Now this is good because at least I know the measurement. I'm melting on the sides now. It comes off. This comes off. Yeah. Trying to braid this stuff. This is not nice. The glue came off. As I said, this is not the easiest part, especially you're human and you can make mistakes. And I'm gonna get this out one way or the other. Yeah, that's basically what I didn't want to do. I didn't want it to melt inside. And get the brass piece stuck inside. That's really not what I wanted. So what I'm gonna do is try and pull it out. Just wiggling. It will come out. Yeah, it's almost out. So, there you go. I think I got it. It's still hot. So, another attempt. Free falling piece of brass. Hopefully, that's the point. If you melt it enough, it should fall through without holding. That means also that the hole is big enough after. careful because the brass will become quite hot at some point. Don't really want to touch it until it's cooled off. Okay. There you go. It's gone through. Just pull it out. There you go. See, these things happen all the time. Nothing's perfect. Nothing works exactly as planned. But at the end, you always get the right result anyway. So removing the extra plastic, I would just get the brass part stuck. Okay. See how it is now. Still quite hot. So I'm gonna use the glue again because it unglued because of that sheer hot mess. Okay, so hot glue done. Let's put it in and stick it down. There you go. Put a bit more glue. Engine is still, the motor is still rotating, so it's fine. Now, let's see. Yeah, it's hard enough not to get stuck to it. Yes, you see? So, this little chamber holds a Kyber crystal inside, and this one just rotates. Okay, so that's all you need. Now, the reason why I have all these brass pieces is that I'm gonna make here like a little bracket where I can put a Kyber crystal inside and then cover it with this to protect it again. So what I'm going to do here is remove the parts that are not needed. This one more precise, so I'm going to use this one to cut. Try to be precise with this, because otherwise if it starts having a crack and then going in a direction you don't want, you're going to need a new bottle. So just cut it. It can be rough, don't worry about it, because this part is going to go inside something else anyway, so you're not going to see it, and it's going to be covered in glue, hot glue, so it's going to melt it back to smoothness anyways most of the time. Okay. The top is off. Yeah, gone. So as you can see, there's going to be something else in here. Just make it straight enough to hold straight. said, make it rough, but make it straight. Otherwise you're gonna have a hard time positioning it. Okay. Let's try again. Get in there. A little bit still not straight enough. These things take time, so don't expect to make them in 2 minutes. But the more time you take, the more precision you use, the less you have to go back to it, or the less you have a bad result. If I can manage to make this as straight as possible. This is basically just a protection chamber for it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. There you go. See? That's part of it. Now what I would have is this protruding like that. So you always have to make choices between the things that you want to put. You can either have them super fancy, simple. The point is, it has to look how you want it. So not very happy with the shape. There you go. Now it's nice. So on this other side there's going to be an LED, and on this side it's going to be a rotating chamber. So that's going to be your Kyber crystal chamber. It's going to be in the middle of the lightsaber. So the thing is, you're going to have to divide the lightsaber electronics in two. The top will have the Arduino board, and the bottom will have the audio. You'll have wires passing between this and this, and it will be visible, and it will give a realistic look to your Kyber crystal, as all the electronics passing on top of it or in front of it, depending on where you want to put them. So again, I'm going to make a hole in here. This one's going to be easier because it's much thinner. And this one's going to be glued to the plastic cap at the bottom. See, every little mistake you make when cutting like this just gives a refraction to the light that's going to be shone on the crystal. So it's going to make it even more, looking more powerful. So don't worry about little scratches and melts. get to the end, be careful because it might snap out of your hand and burn you. Burns from this thing are not nice. I've had a few of them. I don't want to repeat it. Takes ages for them to go away anyway. Okay, so that's it. It's off. Melted. And now you can take your chamber. Yeah, it rotates. Still rotating. And glue this one to the other one. So again, hot glue. Don't touch the middle chamber, because if that gets glued, it will not rotate. But put as much glue as you can on the walls. Okay, there you go. With the rotated chamber. So these ones are not custom made. They are different heights than I wish. But as long as they give me the right effect, I don't mind. So the point would be, also you don't have to make it too long or too large, otherwise it's going to occupy most of your saber and you can't put electronics inside, so be careful how much you put in here. I would actually make it a bit shorter, maybe just do one bracket. Yeah. So I'll melt them in just like the rest. Take, without touching the glass, try to make a hole just